What's her name and what's his face?
Welcome to the Lincoln City Council meeting of December 8th, 2025. Please be advised a copy of the Open Meetings Act is posted at the back of the chambers by the northwest door. Let us all rise for the Pledge of Allegiance, followed by a short moment of silent meditation. Please remain standing if you are able. I pledge allegiance to the flag
Of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The order of business of the City Council is as follows. The clerk will call items listed on the agenda. Under public hearing, anyone wishing to speak on an item must first register and sign in at the table located in the lobby. The council shall require any member of the public addressing the council to identify themselves and name of any organization represented by such person and their address, unless the address requirement is waived to protect the security of the individual. Each speaker should state whether they are speaking in favor of or in opposition to an item. Testimony is limited to 5 minutes per speaker. Anyone wishing to speak on an agenda item shall come forward after the clerk reads the item and the applicant has presented. After public comments, the applicant may make one short rebuttal. After all public hearings, the council will vote on resolutions and items listed under third reading. On the second and last Mondays of the month, immediately prior to adjournment, anyone may speak on any issue not on the agenda for that date nor planned for a future agenda. We ask that all speakers strive for civility and allow the business of council to proceed unimpeded. Will the clerk please call the first item of business?
Our first item of business today is a reminder that due to the Christmas and New Year holidays, City Council will not meet December 22nd and 29th. Next on our agenda would be our consent agenda, sections 1, 2, and sections 3.
All right, is there anyone to speak on the consent agenda? Any staff presentations? Is there any member of the public that would like to comment on the consent agenda? If so, please come forward now. Seeing none, Madam Clerk.
We can have vote on these items. Item 1A is reappointing Eric Hokie and Patrick Finnegan to the Citizen Police Advisory Board for terms to expire November 17th, 2028, introduced by Bowers.
So moved. Second.
Second by Shob. Discussion? Seeing none, please call the roll.
Weber,
Yes.
Bowers,
Yes.
Washington,
Yes.
Duden,
Yes.
Shob,
Yes.
Beckius,
Yes.
Carlson.
Yes.
Motion carried 7-0. Item 1B is resolution levying the assessment approved by the City Council sitting on the Board of Equalization on November 24th, 2025, and setting the interest rate on those assessments for the cost of the improvements in the Downtown Management Business Improvement District, Downtown Core Management Business Improvement District, Downtown Maintenance District, and the West Haymarket Downtown Maintenance District, introduced by Duden.
So moved.
Second.
Second by Washington. Discussion? Seeing none, please call the roll.
Bowers,
Yes.
Washington,
Yes.
Shob,
Yes.
Duden,
Yes.
Beckius,
Yes.
Weber,
Yes.
Carlson.
Yes.
Motion carried 7-0. That concludes our consent agenda. We shall move on to section 4, public hearing resolutions. I'll call item 4A. Item 4A is assessing the costs incurred for cutting, clearing, and removing weeds against the various benefited properties for the period of November 1st, 2024 through October 31st of 2025.
Welcome.
Good afternoon, members of the City Council. My name is Brent Meyer. I am the Weed Superintendent for Lancaster County. And since 1996, with an interlocal agreement with the City of Lincoln, we have provided the weed abatement services for the City of Lincoln, which gives the residents of Lancaster County and the City of Lincoln a one-stop shop for all their noxious, invasive, and troublesome weeds. So the item before you today is the assessments of the abatements that we did throughout this growing season. These are the ones that have remained unpaid at this point. And I would ask for just a couple minutes. I think everybody got the attachment, and I would like to go through just a few of the things our office did on behalf of the City of Lincoln this year. So keep in mind, this is the weed abatement side of our program. We also do the noxious weed for the Lancaster County. Those the City Council does not have to take action on. Those are handled through our office and the State Noxious Weed Control Act. Just a little over $50,000 is what remains today. We had a total over $81,000 assessed originally. A lot of those have been paid throughout the growing season, and so what we're dealing with today is just what's left. We did 282 enforcements this year, which is a little bit above average. The enforcements aren't a whole lot above average, but what I can tell you is the cost of doing those enforcements have continued to rise tremendously for us. So that's something that we just continue to have to work with. On total inspections, we did 8,169 total inspections, where we had boots on the ground that many times in the city in just this growing season. So we keep very busy. We run 3 inspectors in the city, so that's a lot of stops for those folks every day. One of the reasons I think those numbers are up the last couple of years is just due to moisture. You know, if we don't get the moisture after July, things seem to tail off. When we get that second round of moisture, the weeds grow again, and then we pretty much get all through the second round of properties. And that's on 3,691 parcels. So we're able to close those in just 2.21 inspections per parcel, which I feel is pretty good. Some of them are closed by the time we get there the first time, and some of them will go 5 or 6 inspections. So about 2.21 inspections per parcel is what it takes for us to get those closed. On legal notices, we issued 1,317 legal notices this year. That's up. That could just be that maybe I'm getting a little more impatient in my old age. Maybe we're going through the process a little faster. Basically, the process is post the sign on the property, send a letter, send a legal notice and an enforcement warning, and then send the contractor. So we try to give landowners plenty of opportunity to get it taken care of. We only want to come in at the end of the process when none of that happens. We're always too fast for the person we're working on and not fast enough for the neighbors that are looking at the overall properties. So we try to kind of get a medium balance in there. We did receive 3,454 complaints this year. 2,120 of those were on the Uplink app, which I would like they all come in on the Uplink app. That just gives us time to work through those versus a phone call. And on the Uplink app this year, we were number 2. We've been number 1 on that for several years, which we're never proud of that, but it is something to bring to your attention that people do request our service an awful lot. The reason for that this year is we had 2 huge tree storms, so the tree issues took it over for this year. We'll let them keep it. And then down at the bottom there, we did, in addition to the noxious weed or the weed abatement side, we did 885 inspections on noxious weeds inside city limits. So the State Noxious Weed Act, noxious weeds don't care if it's inside city limits or outside city limits. And basically, every time a new development goes in, the outlots are the waste areas, and those are where noxious weeds like to thrive. So that's kind of where we end up doing a lot of our work inside city limits. So just over 9,000 inspections inside city limits this year. And I want to say this doesn't go without the cooperation of the problem resolution team, building and safety, the health department, Lincoln Transportation and Utilities, all the city agencies. We work well together. I know I just had a question a little bit ago on site obstructions, and get a hold of me and I'll get a hold of the right person, or they can get a hold of me. So the city departments, mayor's office, get a lot of information and a lot of work with Sherry at the mayor's office. So anyway, if I didn't answer your questions, I'll be happy to do that.
Council, questions?
What makes up the cost on enforcement?
What's that now?
What makes up the cost factors
So
on enforcement?
just the contractor cost, and then we have a $100 administrative fee.
Okay.
So if we're there 5 times, we probably should look at that. It's been $100 since I've been here for 15 years. It was $60 prior to that. But we don't mark up the contractor costs. It's just what the contractor charges the city, and then the $100 administrative fee.
Other questions, Councilman Shope?
Thank you. I'd like to follow up on Councilman Duden's question. So you said 2.9 site inspections is the average or something?
2 on inspections per property.
Per property,
Yeah, we did 2.21 inspections to get them closed is the average.
So I'm a neighbor. I'm upset with my neighbor who won't seem to mow his freaking grass. I call you, you go out and inspect and put a sign in the yard then, or do you?
No, so the initial inspection, we usually post the orange sign in the yard. So if you've seen those orange signs, those are ours. But did you get one?
No, I did not get one.
Hey, you know,
White, yes, white, yes.
my inspectors don't know, you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
they judge. So it can be a lengthy process. So we post the orange sign to start with. Then I get that information in. I try to look and see if the situs and the owner address match. That might be all we
Right.
do the first time. If they're different, that tells me it's probably a rental. Then I go ahead and send a letter to the landowner themselves.
property owner.
So they get notified in that process. Then we're on a week rotation, so then it's a week out before we look at it again. If it's not done by that time, we send the legal notice, regular certified letter, and then also a copy regular USPS, just to make sure they get the copy of it. Then we're another week out, and then we go above that one more time and send an enforcement warning, say, hey, a contractor's been hired at your expense. A lot of times that gets it done on that final one. The city ordinance is 5 days, so we could cut that on day 6 after that initial inspection if we sent the legal notice. I've done that one time in 15 years, and that was up here on 10th and F when we had a site obstruction. People couldn't see through the weeds to pull out onto 10th Street, and it was a dangerous situation. So most of the time, we try to work with people. If we have a history on them, because our database will tell me the history, and I've been here a long time, I get to know a lot of the names and
There's
addresses.
some frequent
That we will
non-movers.
usually speed that up about a week, so.
Thank you, that was helpful. I appreciate that. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Just again,
Councilman Duden.
yeah, sometimes it's not the height of the weeds, it's the weeds spreading out onto the sidewalk. And you've got more people with mobility issues that need those sidewalks. And so it's not the height of the weeds, but when they're creeping out on the sidewalk, is that
Yes.
still an issue?
And I talked a little bit about working with some of the other agencies, so sidewalk obstructions really falls under LTU.
Okay.
If I feel I can handle that with just a weed abatement thing, my process is a little faster, so we will get with it. And it can be bushes hanging over there, but ADA requirements
Right.
are important on the 36-inch width of the sidewalks. So we'll work together, whoever can get that handled the quickest. A lot of times the orange sign in the yard gets that done with just a note, say, hey, we have a sidewalk obstruction here for ADA requirements, please remove the vegetation.
Thank you.
For the record, that was not my yard.
Any other questions? All right, appreciate it.
All right, thank you.
Is there any member of the public like to comment on this? If so, please come forward now. Seeing none, Madam Clerk?
I'll call item 4B, approving the consultant agreement between the City of Lincoln and Continuum Employee Assistant Training Consultant to provide a comprehensive employee assistant program to the employees of the City of Lincoln and Lancaster County for a 5-year term for a sum not to exceed $405,856.70 for the term of the contract.
Welcome.
Thank you. Good afternoon. Barb McIntyre, Human Resources Director, 555 South 10th Street. We were very pleased to be able to bring Continuum forward for another contract. We've used them for a number of years. We did do an RFP on this contract, looked at a number of different vendors, and they were competitive, and the program they offer us is specifically designed for us, and it was hard for other vendors to match that, especially around what they do for our public safety and our police officers. So we're very pleased to be able to do this and have a 5-year contract in front of you for your consideration.
Council, any questions? All right, appreciate it. Thank you,
Thank you.
Director. Is there anyone from the public who'd like to comment on this? If so, please come forward now. Seeing none, we can proceed.
I'll call item 4C, accepting and approving the report of new and pending claims against the city for November 1st through November 15th of 2025.
All right, is there any member of the public like to comment on pending claims against the city? If so, please come forward now. Pending claims against the city, please come forward now. Seeing none, Madam Clerk?
I'll call item 4D, Comprehensive Plan Conformance 25011, application of the People City Mission Home to review as to conformance with the 2050 Lincoln Lancaster County Comprehensive Plan, a proposed conservation easement to preserve flood storage capacity on the property generally located at 110 Q Street.
Welcome, Mr. Gergen.
Afternoon. Tim Gergen, 1010 Lincoln Mall, Clark and Anderson, here representing People City Mission and Pastor Tom, which I don't have my Hawaiian shirt on today. What you see here today is kind of a long process. You saw us here about 6 months ago, earlier this year, to get a special permit for the People City Mission expansion to the building on this block here. In order to do our floodplain fill for this block, we had to dedicate conservation easements in series with our special permit, and this is the approved special permit that was approved earlier this year. The conservation easements are shown here in yellow. So what we are doing is extending conservation easements in the northern part of the People City Mission lot that is really unusable for the mission, and that's in order to get fill on this new block that we are currently in construction on right now for the mission. This hatched area represents the existing conservation easements that were dedicated to the city for the construction of their current building, and then what's here in yellow is what we are dedicating for this new building here. We've worked with the City of Lincoln, Watershed Management, and Law Department for this conservation easement, and what you see here is what has been agreed upon and signed by the People City Mission, and waiting for your approval, and be happy to answer any questions you have.
Council, what questions do we have?
Great. Thank you.
Is there anyone from the public that would like to comment on this item? If so, please come forward now. Item 4D. Seeing none, please proceed, Madam Clerk.
We can now vote on these items. Item 4A is assessing the costs incurred for cutting, clearing, and removing weeds against the various benefited properties on the period of November 1st, 2024 through October 31st of 2025, introduced by Bowers.
So moved.
Second,
Second by Beckius and
Chair Carlson.
yes.
I would like to make a motion to amend on this item to update the assessment report with the most current updated assessment report. This was outlined in the materials given to council on the agenda.
Right, amendment by Tom
I
Beckius
second.
and then seconded by Duden. Any discussion? Seeing none, please call the roll.
Beckius,
Yes.
Weber,
Yes.
Bowers,
Yes.
Washington,
Yes.
Duden,
Yes.
Schob,
Yes.
Carlson.
Yes.
Motion carried 7-0. And I'll call the roll on the main motion. Beckius,
Yes.
the main vote. Weber,
Yes.
Bowers,
Yes.
Washington,
Yes.
Duden,
Yes.
Schob,
Yes.
Carlson.
Yes.
Motion carried 7-0. Item 4B is approving the consultant agreement between the City of Lincoln and Continuum Employee Assistant Training Consultants to provide a comprehensive employee assistant program to the employees of the City of Lincoln and Lancaster County for a 5-year term for a sum not to exceed $405,856.70 for the term of the contract, introduced by Bowers.
So moved.
Second.
Second by Beckius. Discussion? Seeing none, please call the roll.
Washington,
Yes.
Schob,
Yes.
Duden,
Yes.
Beckius,
Yes.
Weber,
Yes.
Bowers,
Yes.
Carlson.
Yes.
Motion carried 7-0. Item 4C is accepting and approving the report of new and pending claims against the city for November 1st through November 15th, 2025, introduced by Bowers.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Second by Schob, and I believe there's an amendment, Tom Duden.
Yes, there was amendment to move one of the items from denied to pending. And the city attorney might have to help me out on how we.
Sure, Johnson Christie, City Attorney, 555 South 10th. There is a request to remove one of the listed claims from denied to pending. The reason for that request is that that claim is still under review.
Second.
So amendment by Duden, seconded by Washington. Discussion on that? Seeing none, please call the roll.
Bowers,
Yes.
Washington,
Yes.
Schob,
Yes.
Duden,
Yes.
Beckius,
Yes.
Weber,
Yes.
Carlson.
Yes.
Motion carried 7-0. And I'll call the vote on the main motion. Bowers,
Yes.
Washington,
Yes.
Schob,
Yes.
Duden,
Yes.
Beckius,
Yes.
Weber,
Yes.
Carlson.
Yes.
Motion carried 7-0. Item 4D is Comprehensive Plan Conformance 25011, application of the People City Mission Home to review as to conformance with the 2050 Lincoln-Lancaster County Comprehensive Plan. A proposed conservation easement to preserve flood storage capacity on the property during located at 110 Q Street, introduced by Bowers.
So moved.
Second?
Second by Washington. Discussion? Seeing none, please call the roll.
Washington,
Yes.
Weber,
Yes.
Bowers,
Yes.
Schob,
Yes.
Duden,
Yes.
Beckius,
Yes.
Carlson.
Yes.
Motion carried 7-0. Okay. That concludes section 4 of our agenda. We'll move to section 5, public hearing ordinances, second reading and related resolutions. I'll call item 5A. Item 5A is text amendment 25013, application of Clark and Anderson, amending Lincoln Municipal Code section 27.61.010, continuation of non-conforming use in section 27.61.040, extension of enlargement to allow more flexibility for structural alterations for the reuse of existing buildings.
Go.
Hi, Tim Gergen, Clark Anderson, 1010 Lincoln Mall, and Blake Thomas, same address. I always find it odd having a private citizen come in and do an amendment to the City of Lincoln text, but here we are, and we're doing that. That is not to say that we haven't worked with the city. We have been in quite a bit of contact with the planning department and building and safety with this text amendment. This has come up quite often in our buildings that we've been trying to retrofit and redesign within the urban core of the City of Lincoln. We kept on running up against a strict guideline of the ordinance, and what we're asking for is some minor modifications. What you see here on the screen coming up is in yellow. We are adding to the sentence, to the text, if the building or premises is not enlarged or extended or reconstructed, and we're removing structural altercations are made. Essentially, it came down to a structural altercation definition would have been anything of removing a door, changing a door jamb, adding a window, redefining a window, add anything to that sense where you normally would do that in an older building. Older buildings had codes that were much different back then, and now we're trying to modify buildings to current standards. And when you removed a door or added windows, that is a structural altercation. And so what we were trying to do is remove that part of the text, but still keep the integrity of the text amendment by not enlarging the building, creating it, modifying it, but just trying to be able to redo the inside of the buildings to do that. And so that's why we have these two text modifications before you. Blake Thomas here, if you have any additions to that.
Couple of other examples. So just for example, an existing building, non-conforming use is what we're talking about. So if an exterior wall is brick and CMU, the wall is determined to be load-bearing by a responsible architect or engineer, new owner of the building would be prohibited from punching new windows in that wall without going through the special permit or rezoning process. Just a burdensome process. If that same wall construction is determined to not be load-bearing, new windows would be allowed. That procedure to cut in the new window opening would essentially be the same either way. New lintel would be required in the CMU and brick, but simply because the first wall is technically load-bearing, the new owner would be prohibited from adding that window in that wall. What's the difference? How does that fact impact the surrounding neighborhood? In my opinion, it doesn't. Second example, if the new owner wants to or needs to, maybe for code-required egress reasons, add an internal stair or an elevator in a two-story building, that would technically be a prohibited item because structure would have to be altered for the new floor opening. How does that impact the surrounding neighborhood? It just doesn't make sense that this would be a prohibited use and require all the additional steps, in my opinion.
And we're happy to answer any questions you may have.
Questions at all, Council?
I don't have a question, Council Chair Carlson, but I have a thank you because these sound really like common sense, and we want to keep our old buildings that are still in good shape usable.
Yes.
And minor changes seem like a minor deal.
The code is quite big and lengthy, and I think this kept on coming up, and the City of Lincoln Planning Department was great to work with, including Building and Safety, to modify this code and work with us to do that.
Thank you
Thanks for-
for taking the initiative.
Yeah, and identifying the potential improvement.
Absolutely. Okay.
Thank you.
Are there any members of the public like to comment on this? Director Carey.
Look for a question.
Councilman Shob.
David Carey, 555 South 10th Street, Director of Planning and Development Services.
Thank you, Mr. Carey, for coming forward. Mr. Gergen referred to the fact that it's a private citizen bringing this issue forward, which led me to think that maybe planning and zoning was not happy about this, but then his closing remarks, he said you were great to work with, so I'm really confused now.
Well, I'll try to clear that up for
Yeah,
you.
well, it's gonna take a
So
while.
we're in
Help me with this
we're in
one.
full support of this. I think that the reason why, historically, we have often had a private landowner or proposer of a project that needs the text amendment to change to be the author of the text amendment. I mean, it's not atypical for that to happen, and that's how this one was handled. But yeah, we are in full support. We understand that this was a limitation that didn't make a lot of sense. And the reality was we needed to make this change in the language in the code to allow for the flexibility that we're looking for. There really wasn't a way around it, which is why we have to have the text amendment.
I understand. Thank you very much. It was appreciated.
Right, other questions?
Thank you.
Thank you. Any members of the public like to testify on this? If so, please come forward now. Seeing none, Madam Clerk.
I'll call item 5B and 5C together. Item 5B and C is Comprehensive Plan Conformance 25010. Application of Franklin Hargett to review as to conformance with the 2050 Lincoln Lancaster County Comprehensive Plan, a proposed conservation easement to preserve flood storage capacity and natural resources within the Pine Woods Planned Unit Development on property generally located at 6511 Pine Lake Road. And the related change of zone 08041G, application of Franklin Hargett to amend the Pine Woods Plan Unit Development to allow an increase in the commercial floor area by 5,760 square feet, expand the existing contractor services use, and update grading and drainage plans and hydraulic report in the floodplain on property generally located at 6511 Pine Lake Road.
Welcome.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the council, Mark Hunziker, appearing on behalf of the applicant, Franklin Drywall. This is an expansion of a building that was approved several years ago. The business has been successful there. They need to expand the building. And in the process, we are updating and providing a conservation easement over the floodplain at the south end of this lot. There's one outstanding issue which we've not yet heard back. We've actually offered to gift a portion of the property to the city that abuts a city park that's in the area. At first they were not interested, but I think they're now reconsidering that. It's separate from this. It's not a condition of approval. It's just a matter that is out there. So if you have any questions, I'll try to answer them. I think this is pretty straightforward.
Councilwoman Washington.
Mr. Hunziker, thank you for bringing this forward and for your offer of making a donation of the property. Do you have a map there that you could show us?
I don't
What
think
portion
Tim
we're
might
talking
have
about?
one.
Because this is down in Beal Slough area?
Correct.
Yes,
Okay.
it's just off of Pine Lake Road.
And
South side.
adjacent to the Southeast Team Fire and
Yeah.
Police Station.
Yeah, I
Correct.
can almost, I can visualize the
Quickly
narrow
go
lot.
through those properties real quick. You have Campus Live here, the applicant property, Franklin Drywall, and the new fire station here. You have the Beal Slough come through here, and you have a tributary. And so the gift would be everything south of the channel to the city of Lincoln, which would be connected to the city of Lincoln Park here. So it all runs contiguous.
And I know it's not part of this application per se, but this would be a gift of land or just the gift of easement?
No, it'd be a gift of land.
Okay.
So the easement, we are proposing for the special permit is the building expansion here, and then the conservation easement would be what's in yellow here.
Thank you.
Councilman Duden.
Isn't there a bike path that's supposed to be going through there towards the back? Through that park area?
I'm gonna,
Maybe,
I don't know if there is, because you would have to cross over the railroad tracks, and I believe that would be over.
Yeah, there's an underpass.
There is an
this area.
underpass under the Village
there's
Gardens.
a guy that has a property on 70th Street that backs up to the railroad tracks there, and he's promised some property to Lincoln Parks, which I was told that there's a bike path that's supposed to go through there too. Would be on the north side of the tracks.
Could be, the bike path does not impact any of this property. that
Okay.
we're-
No, it's west of,
East of it.
West.
west.
Go west.
It's on the other side of the track.
Other questions? Appreciate it. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you.
Are there members of the public who would like to comment on this? If so, please come forward now. Seeing none, Madam Clerk.
I'll call item 5D, approving the equipment lease agreement between the City of Lincoln and Exchange Bank for the lease and financing of 262 golf carts for a 57-month term.
Welcome.
Hi, good afternoon, council members. Wade Foreman, Golf Operations Coordinator, Parks and Rec, 3131 O Street. I'm here today before you for the ordinance 25-119. As you're aware, Lincoln City Golf is structured as an enterprise fund. This means the program's operational expenses and capital improvements are funded solely through the revenues it generates each year at the courses. It is independent of general fund tax dollars. The past 10 years have been profitable, allowing golf to complete numerous capital improvement projects across the courses, with more coming in the near future. Given that 62% of the golfers choose to ride a golf cart during the round, these golf carts are a critical component to our revenue stream. You may recall we had a very similar ordinance lease for 245 golf carts back in 2021 that came before you. The purpose of this new ordinance is to authorize the leasing of 262 gas club car golf carts for use at the Lincoln City golf courses over the next 4 years. The 4-year lease term is considered a best practice in the industry. The carts will require placement after 4 years of heavy use. We collaborated with the purchasing department to competitively bid the lease. Nebraska Golf and Turf, a local business here in Lincoln, was the lowest bidder. The lease is being financed by Exchange Bank and Kearney. Lincoln Golf will make 2 payments per year, totaling $198,042 to Exchange Bank. The total cost over the 4 years will be $792,170. We are pleased with the terms and the payments that we got for this new lease. After the 4-year lease concludes, the carts will return to Nebraska Golf and Turf. As the City Golf, we truly just lease the carts. So that is it. Any questions?
Council, any questions? Appreciate it. Thanks, Wade.
Thank you.
Yep. Are there members of the public who would like to comment on this? If so, please come forward now. Seeing none, Madam Clerk, please proceed.
I'll call item 5E, approving the lease agreement between the City of Lincoln and the Lincoln Trap and Ski Club for the lease of the southwest portion of the North 48th Street Solid Waste Management Facility for competitions, sporting clay events, and general members for, member use for a 10-year term.
Welcome, Director.
Good afternoon, Liz Elliott, Director of Lincoln Transportation and Utilities, 555 South 10th Street. As the clerk mentioned, this is a 10-year lease agreement with Lincoln Trap and Ski Club to allow for this on our North 48th Street location. It's kind of a great fun opportunity to not only bring people into the city of Lincoln for events like this, but it really shows what a landfill, when it's closed, how it can be a benefit to the community for recreational activities such as this. So it really is a fun opportunity to show people the benefits of a landfill and how they're utilized afterwards. And it's an easy, kind of fun event that we get to work with something different that we don't usually see. So we do have Lincoln Trap and Skeet Club here to answer any specific questions if you have any, but happy to answer any questions about the agreement that you might have.
Council, any questions? Councilman Duke?
How much is it?
So this actually is an agreement at no cost. It's kind of a mutually beneficial agreement that we believe giving people an experience of a landfill after it's closed is worth that for us. So we don't have a monetary value to this contract, just learning that this is a utilized space after.
Good. Other questions?
No questions. This is
Alright.
great.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Is there any member of the public like to comment on this? If so, please come forward now. Seeing none, Madam Clerk.
Okay, I'll call items 5F through 5M together. Item 5F is amending Lincoln Municipal Code Chapter 23.10, the Electrical Code, to adopt the 2023 edition of the National Electrical Code as specifically amended by Chapter 23.10 of the LMC by amending Sections 23.10.010, 23.10.040, 23.10.120, 23.10.140, 23.10.160, 23.10.190, and 23.10290 to incorporate revisions necessitated by the adoption of the 23 edition. Amending Item 5G is amending Lincoln Municipal Code Chapter 25.06 Lincoln Mechanical Code to adopt the 2021 edition of the International Mechanical Code as part of the Lincoln Mechanical Code. Item 5H is amending Lincoln Municipal Code Chapter 25.12 Lincoln Fuel Gas Code to adopt the 2021 edition of the International Fuel Gas Code as part of the Lincoln Fuel Gas Code. Item 5I is amending Lincoln Municipal Code Chapter 24.12 Lincoln Plumbing Code to adopt the 2021 edition of the Uniform Plumbing Code as part of the Lincoln Plumbing Code. Item 5J is amending Lincoln Municipal Code Chapter 20.06 Lincoln Building Code to adopt the 2021 edition of the International Building Code regulating and governing the conditions and maintenance of all property, building, and structures. Item 5K is amending Lincoln Municipal Code Chapter 20.08 Lincoln Existing Building Code to adopt the 2021 edition of the International Existing Building Code regulating and governing minimum requirements for existing buildings. Item 5L is amending Lincoln Municipal Code Chapter 20.12 Lincoln Residential Building Code to adopt the 2021 edition of the International Residential Code regulating and governing 1- and 2-family dwellings and townhouses in the city. Item 5M is amending Lincoln Municipal Code Chapter 19.03 Fire Code to adopt the provisions of the 2021 edition of the International Fire Code.
Welcome, Director.
David Carey, Director of the Planning and Development Services Department, 555 South 10th Street. First, I would like to thank Sony for reading all those into the record.
Yes.
I also want to acknowledge that in the room today, we have several members on both sides. We have members of our task forces that did the work. These are folks that volunteer their time, make sure we're on the right track and give us input before we get to this point. So I want to acknowledge that several of them have showed up today in support. I also have my section chiefs that are also the people that lead our teams for application of these codes on a day-to-day basis. So if there are some detailed questions, these are the people to ask. Thank you for some time today. I want to start out by saying that we do this work about every 3 years. We're here today to consider and then next week take action on the 2021 building codes as well as the 2023 electrical code. It takes several years to kind of go through them and make sure that they're saying what we want them to say and go through the work that I just mentioned previously that the task forces do. We also have a lot of work for the law department to pull this all together. There's, as you know and just heard, there's several sections of the code that need to be updated when we do this. So with that in mind, I go through a fairly quick overview so that the public can see kind of what we're working on and what we're proposing and see if there's any questions, and we can go from there. I would like to say that the 2021 code package is not a code package that has, as in the past, there's been times when there have been significant changes in all the different sections. This is much more of a cleanup. If you look at the redlining of this, it might look like a lot, but it's a lot of moving text around and reorganizing and updating some things. So that's the main message that we'd like to bring to the public and to you all today. It is important that we adopt these codes, though, because by adopting this next set of codes, it brings clarity,
and direction to those decisions that need to be made when plans come in and then inspections are done out in the field. So it's important for us to do this. I will note that the 2024 code set has been out, and then the process to work through that code set is going to begin in 2026, and so that we will be back to you probably another year from now, give or take, to consider those code updates. So this is the regular work that we do from our department, and it's very important work because it makes sure that we are up to date on our codes, we understand them, and then we're applying them consistently and uniformly when we get out in the field. A little bit about the process that we've gone through already to date and where we're at today. Basically, this starts from the National Construction Code publications, that this is a regular cycle about every 3 years. When those are published and released, the building and safety staff, now planning and development services staff, goes through that work and make sure that they understand what the changes are. Sometimes there's amendments that are brought to us. And then the code task forces get together. Again, these are volunteer folks that are in the trades, in the field. They know what they're talking about. And they help us discuss these updates and changes, provide input on what amendments, local amendments we might want to do. And then we put together that proposal, and then we work with our city attorney's office and our law support staff to put together a proposal in ordinance form. And then we go through the process. We come to you for your consideration. We have a public hearing. And we ask for your action on them. And then after the action is taken, then we format the E-code publication, make sure everything is up to speed and looks right. And then effectively about a month later, we'll put them in force. So part of your action would be to say these will be enforced on a certain date. I will note that we are going to be asking you to have the applicable date for enforcement for the electrical code to be December 30th, because that's something we need to get caught up to the state on that, and they really are wanting us to make sure that we get these adopted. And then for the rest of the code set, it would be January 30th. That gives a little bit of time for this final work to happen, as well as to kind of make sure that folks out doing projects understand what code is being enforced and what's being applied. Okay, so this is just to kind of walk it through a little bit. This is a lot of good learning experience for me in my new updated position, actually. So it's important to note that the source of this update, these updates, comes from the ICC, the International Code Council, basically publishing new additions and changes every 3 years. And now that's building, mechanical, property, plumbing, fire, residential, commercial. So it's a kind of a collection of all these different significant parts of how we do our work. Again, the electrical code is governed by the National Electrical Code, NEC. That's adopted by the state, and so we basically adopt what the state has adopted. And that's why they're asking us to get this done as quickly as possible, because for that consistency sake, and make sure that we have everything in place. I will note that we are not addressing the energy code this cycle. When those types of topics are addressed, that can be a little bit more of a lift. That's part of the reason why this is not a major change, not a major update. Each set of codes is reviewed by staff, and then we go through that task force process. They meet up to 8 times, if not more, depending on how much involvement there is on that, over months of work. And then the recommendations that are before you are unanimous from those task forces. I want to be clear about that this is not it wasn't like a 5-4 vote and we weren't quite sure what we wanted to do. So this is we're confident in what we're proposing to you, that these are the right things to do. And again, the city attorney's office does a lot of work for us as well. So what you have before you is the electrical code, the mechanical code, the fuel gas code, the plumbing code, the building code, the existing building code, the residential building code, and the fire code. So we have 8 significant and individual things that next week when you do take action, there'll be 8 different actions taken on that. So where are we in the process? We're here today. We did have a briefing for you all 3 weeks ago. Was happy to get that done to kind of make sure that the questions were asked and answered at that point. We have our public hearing today, and we request your action next Monday. That is going to be the last meeting of the year, so that's part of the reason why I want to get it done now and make sure we're kind of going into the new year with the new codes in force. And again, just kind of being clear about it, electrical code would take effect on December 30th as proposed, and then the other code changes would be January 30th of 2026. So with that, I'll see if there's any questions, and thank you for your time today.
Council, what questions do we have?
No, just thank you, since we have folks here in the room who've given their time, a lot of time, for this review and reviews of years past, because I know a lot of folks have served on these code committees for a long, long time. Just a big thanks for the lift and for the review. We appreciate it very, very much. Thank you, Chair.
Councilman Duden.
Yeah, I want to make a comment, at least to the people in the audience today that do that work and are the boots on the ground that follow through with these inspections and work with developers to solve problems and what have you. So just keep up that good work, and I really appreciate all your past work experience and knowledge and communication skills at the same time. So thank you.
Well said. Anyone else, council? Appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
Are there any members of the public like to comment on this? If so, please come forward now. Welcome. Hello.
Good afternoon. Craig Geese with BIC Construction. I guess served as the chairman for the Fire Code Review Committee this past year, and I guess, David, I don't know, it was a couple more than 8 meetings that they had, the staff. We went through a lot of amendments and discussion in terms of the fire code, and then also was fortunate enough to serve as the building code and existing building code. So I think what was shared is accurate with unanimous decisions, kind of went through the codes in great detail, not major changes like we had in the last review there for it. The committee was made up of contractors, architect, engineers, people who were actually in the fire code. We had vendors that actually provide the dry systems, the wet systems, and the fire sprinkler, as well as supported by the staff. And Bill Moody and Megan and Chuck brought in the staff that they needed to answer questions. So I guess just really support what's being presented, at least from the building, the existing building, and from the fire code part, and just here to thank you for the opportunity. So any questions that you might have. So
Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Hours of work.
Are there any other members of the public like to comment? If so, please come forward. Seeing none, we can proceed, Madam Clerk.
That concludes our public hearing portion of the agenda. We'll still move on to section 6, ordinances, third reading, and related resolutions. I'll call item 6A, amending chapter 8.20 of the Lincoln Municipal Code relating to the Lincoln Food Code by amending sections 8.20.030, 8.20.070, 8.20.080, 8.20.130, and 8.20.220 to be consistent with the state's adoption of the 2022 FDA Food Code, introduced by Beckius.
So moved.
Second?
Second by Washington. Discussion? Seeing none, please call the roll.
Bowers?
Yes.
Washington?
Yes.
Schob?
Yes.
Duden?
Yes.
Beckius?
Yes.
Weber?
Yes.
Carlson?
Yes.
Motion carried 7-0. Item 6B is annexation 25009, application of the Southwest Folsom Development LLC to annex approximately 9.80 acres, more or less of property generally located at the southeast corner of the West Old Cheney Road and Southwest 12th Street, introduced by Beckius.
So moved.
Second?
Second by Washington. Discussion? Seeing none, please call the roll.
Bowers?
Yes.
Washington?
Yes.
Schob?
Yes.
Duden?
Yes.
Beckius?
Yes.
Weber?
Yes.
Carlson?
Yes.
Motion carried 7-0. Item 6C is change of zone 25024, application of Southwest Folsom Development LLC to change the zoning designation from AG Agriculture District to R3 Residential District on approximately 9.80 acres, more or less on property generally located at the southeast corner of West Old Cheney and Southwest 12th Street, introduced by Beckius.
So moved.
Second?
Second by Washington. Discussion? Seeing none, please call the roll.
Weber?
Yes.
Washington?
Yes.
Schob?
Yes.
Duden?
Yes.
Beckius?
Yes.
Bowers?
Yes.
Carlson?
Yes.
Motion carried 7-0. That concludes section 6. Section 7 is resolutions first readings, items 7A through 7K. Section 8 is ordinances first reading, and related resolutions are items 8A through 8D. And our pending list is section 9, items 9A through 9C.
I think every meeting I've I've been to. Tom Beck. Yes.
Step up.
Sorry,
wants to
guys.
stay?
I apologize. For some reason, I thought we had public.
I did
comment.
too.
It's all right. No, it's a holiday month.
I'll second.
All right.
I'll second it.
Motion made by Bowers, second by Beckius. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We are adjourned. Thank you.